Today I want to start working on this machine. Let's take off the tiller and put on the wheels and get into the workshop, and I'll explain you what exactly we want to do with it. Good morning! Welcome back to a new video. In this video I would like to start working on this thing, and as you have noticed, we have used it in many different jobs and it smushes ground pretty well as well. But I've been dreaming of getting another machine, which is a mini tractor, but those things are quite expensive and definitely not something we really need. It's not like it's going to be useful in every single way and going to be the best thing, because we have the big tractor for all the big jobs and this for the small jobs, but I want to make this a bit better, where I can be hauling rocks and more heavier duty things. Currently the way it was working, it didn't have any weight on the wheels, and the weight I added was too much in the front and not so much on the top, so it was spinning a lot and not able to pull heavy loads. So me sitting on the back plus a load was just too much for it. So how I want to rebuild it, I want to put bigger wheels on the main drive, and then I want to put the seat over this with a flippable seat, kind of like the lawnmowers have, and then the steering wheel in the front with steerable wheels, so I could have either maybe put a load on the front, a bucket on the front kind of, and also being able to pull something, but then at the same time you can still remove the wheels, put on the tillers, and maybe even sit on top here and then let the tiller work, and hopefully that's going to be enough to drive me forward. I've seen some videos where they have built this with the tillers and the person sitting on top and being able to till the ground still pretty effectively by pressing brakes on the front or using the hook in the back to slow you down, because I'm pretty sure even with your weight, me sitting on top and all the other weight on it, it's still going to be able to walk forward, so you still need to slow it down to be able to smush the ground. So yeah, hopefully I can achieve it. I really want to build something, and this thing kind of is like my toy for now, so it's not like so necessary we need it. We can cut grass with the lawnmower, it cuts a lot better than this, so I kind of want to just experiment with it and build it and see what it does. I hope the gearbox can handle all the new load I'm gonna add to it. But yeah, let's get started. Remove all of this and remove the back, I guess, and then see if we can get the new wheels on, because that's kind of the most important. This side it will fit, but that side is a bit of a mess because there's the engine and maybe it gets in the way. I hope it doesn't, I hope it fits perfect, but let's try. So now it's all bare bones, all the mudguards are gone. Now we can see if the big wheels fit. I really hope they're not going to punch into here, because I don't know how much more bigger they are, but let's hope it's okay. How does that look? I think it's going to fit. So I was thinking what to use in the middle of the wheel so to fill the gap, because it's way too big. Then I was thinking I have this broken clutch. And I have another one there that's not broken, but I could easily make it broken. I do not have a need for these. If I ever need a clutch, I'll put a new one. This was more decor, this doesn't have anything. And the old clutch, I think we can spare it for this project. And it fits perfectly in the middle, where I could either weld it or I could screw it. But probably I'm just gonna go and weld it. These wheels were anyways $5, so really not expensive. And I wouldn't really care if I have to give them in the scrap. There's not really any value for them otherwise, they don't fit on anything else. So if I weld this on, then I can weld a pipe on here, and that pipe is right here, so we're gonna cut a bit of that pipe. It's more than fat enough, and then this is a connection that goes into that little tractor, and that's gonna go with a plate onto that, screw it together so we can always deattach it, and then with a pin it holds on so it doesn't slide off, but you can always slide the wheels off. So that's kind of what we're gonna do. So I think that's gonna be the best idea. So first thing, we gotta break this clutch. It's a bit sad, but I kind of need the metal, and I don't really have anything circular that's so easy to measure to fit perfectly in the middle. So I think this will be a good option. So we could just smash this off, which is the clutch part, and then we're left with that nice circle that's fully metal. I think that's a good idea. Safety first. I definitely don't want this clutch things flying in my eyeballs. Okay, let's see how easy it is to break a clutch. Okay, there it broke. That also bent the metal a bit, but I think it's gonna be okay. We just need to be a bit more careful maybe. Falling apart on the other side more. Okay, I'll be right back once I'm done. Okay, after long hammering, it's done. Maybe not as straight as the tractor would have smashed it, but good enough. That will work. Okay, let's get this back up. Other way around. Okay, let's get started. So, as you saw a bit, I was coming up with the design. I was making these wheels on the plank, and this is the design I came up with, just so I can cut the pipe straight. I don't have an angle cutter for metal just yet, maybe one day. So I have this design. So you put the pipe on the rollers, then you put the angle grinder down. I have a stopper so it cannot cut all the way down, and then the pipe, you just spin it on the rollers and make sure this is perfectly angled, perfectly right angle. And this doesn't need to be so right angle because it's just cutting a bit. It's mostly that these are right angle against this, and it should spin pretty straight. So for now I'm just gonna cut this end off so it's straight, then gonna move this to the size I need from the blade, and I should be able to perfectly cut the size I need and perfectly straight. I hope this works. Where did my glasses go? I don't think it cut very straight because it ended up at the wrong place. I think it was the problem that this was so sideways. I think if we recut it, maybe it might be better. Yeah, I gotta be careful once it cuts it off not to get stuck and shoot up as well. But I'm wearing glasses and I'm out of the projectile way. You're in the way. You're gonna get damaged. And then we try it again. The blade is a bit sideways sitting, but I don't think that's affecting anything besides having this at an angle, the cut. Otherwise the stopper really helps because it just stops and I'm just spinning the pipe. But I wasn't sure if it's having a correct angle against the wood. So maybe now, I need to maybe apply more pressure that way. But also there is some play in this as well. How can we avoid that? I think that's the hinge being really low quality. Maybe we need a stiffer hinge. Yeah, the hinge is pretty low quality. Okay, I'll get a better hinge. I changed out this hinge, which was pretty floppy, to this more nicer hinge, which is made for furniture. This is more like one for a barn or something. And then also change this wood, this is the one that stops it, and add also a stopper so it doesn't flex. It can still flex that way, but I think it should be okay. I think it should be okay. Let's see. Let's try it. As long as this stays firmly closed here, I don't think it should walk around. And this really stiffened it up as well, so I added this one because the wood was bending and flexing. So I think that should work. Hopefully it gives me perfectly straight cuts all the way around. Getting heavier and heavier. I'm excited. It's a monster truck. So we tried it on. As you saw, I only had put dots on so I could adjust anything I needed, but I made everything pretty perfect. I measured everything. I didn't do it just by my eyes. This time I used ruler, so I did it pretty good. I don't know if I really explained. I can't show you the circle because it's welded on, but the circles I cut, I went all around with the measure meter on a flat surface, and you can't even see a millimeter of difference, so it's like perfectly flat. So my technique worked really well. I do need to invest in a proper metal saw, but for now that worked, so it did get me what I wanted. In this case, you do want it precise. You don't want any sidewaysness, because that's gonna create the wheel to go like this. Same thing with having it centered. You really need to have it centered. I still don't know if it is centered. I guess we're gonna know when we drive it. But let's get it all welded back on and go for a little test drive, because I want to really get it done and try it, and then in the next time we're gonna continue on with the next jobs. There's a lot to do, but I really am liking how it looks. It's starting to turn pretty cool. I hope the gearbox doesn't break, but if it does, it's only like 100 euros to get a new one, and there's a bigger option as well. So we'll see, maybe we upgrade, but then if you upgrade the gearbox, then you can also upgrade the engine, and then pretty much you're just starting to upgrade everything, and yeah, getting into the pretty much the point of using something you have. So let's get welding and get going. Good that we didn't try it. Clearly they were not even strong enough to, I mean, hold the whole support of that. I mean, it is like 100 kilos altogether, so it's not a lot of pressure, but I guess 4 little dots can't hold it. Okay, let's weld it on properly. So the wheels are on, and it has made the thing a bit wider, so I hope it still fits through this door. This is the smallest door that we have as far as that measure. This is exactly 83 and this is 83, so it might be a tight squeeze, but it has to fit because we have to get it in and out. Otherwise you have to take the wheels off, and that's just a mess. So let's start it, go outside and see if it's much better. It might be a lot faster since the wheels are a lot bigger. I think that makes sense. Like the wheels get bigger the faster it goes, with the same amount of input of speed to the shaft. I think that's how it works. I don't think it's slower. So let's try it. It's a lot faster. Wow, that's a big difference. That's like the third gear now.
Okay, enjoy.
I'll try the third gear, okay? That's very fast. Trying to hold it down. It's impossible to hold. That's a fast backwards speed. Turning is impossible. Impossible to turn. That is a huge improvement in speed, in torque, in everything. It just pulls so much harder. Yeah, it's scary. This contraption on the back is definitely not feeling so safe anymore. It needs like pretty much a bucket seat for racing, because it just feels like this, because it's also such a high profile and so skinny. It's not wide. It's so feels like it's gonna fall over. So, but I don't want to make it any wider, just because this is gonna be a tractor that can go through gates and also through garden between bushes and stuff. So that's why we want to keep it small and very compact, because it is a compact tractor. But that really, it just made this thing speed mode. So the first gear is very nice and strong, and the last gear is very fast, and second gear I guess is in between. Even the reverse just feels way faster. Next up, we're gonna continue on with the frame. So we're gonna start building up the frame, which is actually gonna convert this from being rear seated to being front seated, and this being the rear wheels. And instead of pulling the weight, it's gonna be pushing it, and then you can add a trailer on the back. with this wheel setup, I don't think it's gonna have problems of pushing any weight. I think the biggest problem is gonna be is weight, so you need more weight on the wheels. But if you add the trailer in the back that focuses on pushing the wheels down, and also the front is all gonna add heavy weight, and me sitting on top of the wheels, I think that's gonna include so much weight that is gonna really put this down. The only thing I worry about is breaking the gearbox or something, but I think it's gonna be all okay. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna see you next time. It's my crazy project. Hope it's gonna turn out good. It's a lot more work to do.